Good evening and welcome to Tuesday's edition of All Access Sports on Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba, the stations that beats for you. It's a great pleasure to have you listen to us from wherever you are on a very, very cold Tuesday evening right here in the beautiful city of Asaba. My name is Julian Ajunwa, bringing you so much happening in the world of sport. We're counting down to the start of the 2026-2027 football season. A whole lot is happening in the transfer market, and trust me, to bring all of that to your doorstep and for your listening pleasure, you want to know the latest as far as Arsenal is concerned, Manchester United, Chelsea, Manchester City, Barcelona, Real Madrid, whichever club side you support. I'll do you that favor. When you call in later on the show, you can just ask me anything you want to ask pertaining transfers for your favorite club, the club side you love, the one you support with so much passion, the one that when they lose, you find it difficult to sleep, the one that when they lose, you find it difficult to eat. If you're a married man, the one that when they lose, you find it hard to even talk to your wife. Your wife will say, "Hello, baby, how you doing? Welcome. Why is your face like this?" You just say, "Babe, I just came back from the viewing center. I'm not just happy." You just squeeze face. You just squeeze face. They don't beat your club. Beat your club anyhow. Don't worry. It happens like that once in a while. Of course, that's why if you're a man, it's good you marry a woman who is a football fan. And most importantly, it's good you also support the same club. Imagine if you're a man, you're a Chelsea fan, your wife is an Arsenal fan. And then Chelsea will play against Arsenal. And then Arsenal now beats Chelsea. If your wife give you food, you go greet chop. Very funny situation. Of course, it's always very good to be right here in the studio serving you the hottest sport gist in the land. Once again, welcome to the show. All Access Sport comes your way Mondays through Fridays from 7 to 8 p.m. There's no better place to start the show this evening from home and let you know that the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, has apologized to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Nigerians following the Super Falcons' failure to secure automatic qualification for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. NFF President Ibrahim Musa Gusau, in a statement on behalf of the Federation's Executive Committee, the Super Falcons and the Nigerian football family, expressed regret over the outcome of the game. Gusau acknowledged the disappointment caused, stating that the Super Falcons entered this year's tournament with the hopes of winning a record-extending 11th AFCON title. The Super Falcons lost 1-0 to Cameroon in Sunday's quarterfinals, thereby missing out on automatic qualification to the World Cup. A 19th minute free kick sealed the victory for Cameroon, who joined host Morocco, debutants Malawi and Algeria as the four automatic qualifiers for the World Cup. However, the 10-time African champions can still qualify via the Intercontinental playing, but we have to beat South Africa in a playing fixture on Thursday in Morocco. Gusau stated that they must now regroup, learn from this setback, and focus completely on the opportunity that remains, noting that the NFF technical team, the players are committed to doing everything within their power to secure Nigeria's place at the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. He added that the NFF will also undertake an honest assessment of preparation, technical planning, logistics, and overall preparations and operations of the national team with a determination to identify areas requiring massive improvement and ensure that the team is better prepared for the challenges ahead. So remember in the morning on Morning Sport Blitz, I talked about the NFF and how football has been run under the led executive committee by Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau as president, and then he's got the vice president, he's got the secretary general, and every other person that makes up the executive board of the Nigeria Football Federation, and how football has evolved, how football has prospered under their leadership as Nigerian Football Federation. So, but again, we all agreed that it is very difficult for you to vouch for this current NFF board. It's very difficult for you to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's very difficult for you to give them a second chance, because 4 years as NFF president is enough for you to make a mark. It's enough for you to also lay down a marker that you deserve re-election in the next election cycle. Not that when elections comes around, you begin to tell us story. You begin to promise us what you could not do in the last time out. So the Super Eagles failed to qualify for the World Cup this year, and now the Super Falcons may not qualify if they do not beat South Africa on Thursday. They've missed out on the easiest opportunity which is beating Cameroon and getting to the semi-finals. If that happened on Sunday, we would have just talked about, would have been talking about how we would want to achieve Mission XI. But we lost to Cameroon, 1-0, and now we have to beat South Africa on Thursday to now qualify for the Intercontinental Playoff, which is not even sure that the Super Falcons will qualify. But first, we need to do the first job, and the first job is to ensure we beat South Africa on Thursday. Is it doable? Yes, it is. But as much as Nigeria also wants to qualify, South Africa, we must also understand, want to also play at the FIFA World Cup. The World Cup is the biggest football competition you have out there. So everybody wants to be part of the party. Just like you have Malawi, who are ranked 153rd in the world. They also have qualified debutants in the competition. Who would have believed? I'm not sure that even within the Malawi Football Federation, they would have believed that this team, led by two sisters, Temwa Chawinga and Tabitha Chawinga, who is the captain of the side, will lead this team to the semi-finals. But that's the beauty of football. We love to see upsets. We love to see new teams take the center stage. And for Malawi, who says they cannot beat Algeria in the semi-finals and even play in the finals to face either Morocco or Cameroon. So anything is possible at this point in time. Still talking about the Super Falcons, striker Asisa Toshola has stressed that the Super Falcons cannot afford to miss out on qualification for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. Nigeria missed the opportunity to secure automatic qualification for Brazil 2027 following a narrow 1-0 defeat to the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in the quarterfinals of the competition on Sunday. Justin Madugu's side must now navigate a more difficult route to the global showpiece, beginning with Thursday's playing clash against Banyana of South Africa. The encounter is scheduled to take place at the Moile Rashid Stadium in Casablanca, with kickoff set for 9 p.m. Nigerian time. The Super Eagles also failed to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and Oshola believes the Super Falcons must avoid adding to the disappointment of the Nigerian football fans by missing out on the women's tournament. The experienced striker emphasized the importance of securing qualification and urged Nigerians to continue supporting the team as they battle for a place at Brazil 2027. I would say to an extent that Nigerians are used to the Super Eagles failing us. In 2006, we didn't qualify for the World Cup in Germany because of Angola, head-to-head. In 2022, in Qatar, we're also not there because of Ghana, away goes rule. And now in 2026, we're not there because of South Africa. We would have qualified automatically if Nigeria finished top of the group. But South Africa took that spot. And then there was an opportunity to qualify via the playoffs, first of all in Africa, before playing one game in the Intercontinental Playoffs. But we beat Gabon in the semi-finals of the CAF qualifiers or the CAF playoffs, only to lose to DR Congo on penalties in the final. So that's how the Super Eagles missed out on qualification for the World Cup. So to an extent, you can say that we've seen this script before. It's not the first time Nigeria will miss out on the World Cup. That's the male national team. But for the Super Falcons, they have appeared at every edition of the World Cup since it started in the early 90s. So that's why it's going to be a huge upset. It's going to be a huge surprise if the Super Falcons fail to qualify for the World Cup next year. Now, I'm not saying that the Super Falcons qualifying means that they should go and win the competition, even though some places have the opinion that it is high time the Super Falcons go to the World Cup, with the intention of trying to win and not going there to make up the numbers or qualifying for the sake of it. Because the truth of the matter is, if we cannot make an impact at the World Cup, if most times our destination point is the group stage, then we shall allow other teams to go. We shall allow teams like Malawi go. We shall allow teams like Algeria go. Let them go and see what they can do. So since Nigeria that's qualified consistently hasn't really done so much, apart from 1999 when we got to the quarterfinals, we haven't really done anything worthy of note in this competition. Most times we exit at the group stage level. But again, qualifying for the World Cup is a source of pride. As an African country, you want to be there because the World Cup is the biggest showpiece in world football. Everyone wants to be there. So if you're not there, it's a big loss for your country financially, to put your players on the map, for them to attract bigger clubs and all of that and all of those things that accrue to playing in the biggest competition. But if we do not merit it, we will not qualify. So it has to come down to merit. It has to come down to hard work. It has to come down to commitment and dedication from the players, from the coaches, from the Nigerian Football Federation, from the National Sports Commission. It goes like that. Everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to be singing from the same hymn sheet. And that is the only way our football can move forward. We do not appreciate mediocrity as Nigerians. It will not make sense that in a year, the senior men's national team and senior women's national team will not qualify for the World Cup in the same year. It will not make any sense. But if it happens, so be it. It means that we need to go back to the drawing board, like they say. A lot of things are wrong, fundamentally wrong, from the under 17 to the under 20 to the national team. A whole lot of things are wrong, so we need to look at those areas on how to improve. When something is not going right, it shows that you need to tweak something, you need to change something, you need to do something different. You need to show that innovation to ensure that you can get back to competing with the best. The likes of Morocco, who have qualified, the likes of Malawi, the likes of Cameroon, the likes of Algeria, these teams are not better than us. If you put all of them together, they don't even have half of the number of WAFCON titles we have won. But just like the male national team for Morocco, who has at this point in time are ranked number 6 in the world, it's because of how well they've invested in their football. And they've not just invested in male football, they've also invested in female football, because whatever is rubbing off on the happening to the male national team is also rubbing off on the female national team, and not just the senior national team, is also rubbing off on all the different age categories. Morocco men's under 20 team are the champions of the world. En route to winning that competition, they beat Brazil and then they beat Argentina in the finals by 2-0. So we need to look back and see how we can work things out. We need to look back and see how we can get things better. If it means getting better coaches, well-equipped coaches, well-qualified coaches, if it means changing the players, something just has to give for our football to move forward as a nation. Okay, so let's just leave that and move on to other sports on the show. In basketball, LeBron James will make his Philadelphia 76ers debut against defending NBA champions the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden on the opening night of the season. The blockbuster clash headlines a selection of signature fixtures released by the NBA, with the announcement also revealing that James will return to Los Angeles on Christmas Day to face his former team, the Lakers. Four-time NBA champion James, who signed for the Sixers on a 2-year deal worth $8 million per year, signed a contract in July. He will face the Cleveland Cavaliers, with whom he won the NBA titles in 2016 in his first home game in Philadelphia on October 22. The opening night, taking place on October 20, also features a clash between the Boston Celtics and the Detroit Pistons before the Oklahoma City Thunder take on the San Antonio Spurs in a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals in the late game. The Christmas Day slate kicks off with an NBA Finals rematch between the San Antonio Spurs and the Knicks before Giannis Antetokounmpo's Miami Heat travel to Boston to face the Celtics. The NBA also announced that the French sensation Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs would be heading to Paris in January to face the New Orleans Pelicans before the two teams travel to Manchester in the first ever NBA game at the Co-op Live Arena. From basketball to Formula One, Ferrari boss Frederic Vasseur has revealed the areas in which he believes the Italian team need to improve during the second half of the 2026 Formula One season as Lewis Hamilton attempts to stay in the title battle. A highly consistent first 11 race for Hamilton have left him with hope of claiming a record 8th drivers title as he sits 50 points behind Mercedes leader Kimi Antonelli at the top of the standings. While the gap is far from insurmountable, Antonelli's Mercedes has generally appeared to have a performance edge of Hamilton's Ferrari, meaning the Italian squad likely need to find further gains if the 41-year-old is to maintain his challenge. Ferrari also remain in the hunt for the constructors' title, with Mercedes only 72 points clear despite their early season dominance. The Frenchman was speaking after the final round before the summer break in Hungary, during which Ferrari and Hamilton made a series of errors that saw him finish 5th when the car was at least fast enough to be in the podium places. Let's move on back to football. US President Donald Trump says it will be terrible and a big mistake if, under pressure, FIFA President Gianni Infantino was ousted from his position. Trump's backing followed UEFA, CONCACAF and the Asian Football Confederation AFC issuing an open letter accusing Infantino of breaking trust through deception with his aborted FIFA Forward Enterprise FFE proposal. FFP would have meant a new company being created to manage commercial and ticketing rights of all FIFA competitions, including World Cup, with 21% sold off to a private investment company. Trump's comments marked the first time he has come out in defense of Infantino since the FFP plans came to light on 28 July. He says FIFA would be making a terrible mistake if, for any reason, they even considered replacing President Gianni Infantino, Trump wrote on his social media account. He's fantastic, having just presided over the most successful World Cup by 4 times ever presented. If he's gone, it will never be as successful or profitable again. Well, Mr. Donald Trump, you cannot categorically say that if Infantino leaves as FIFA president, then we'll not have a good World Cup again. After all, before he was there, somebody was in charge of FIFA. We had different World Cups, the one that took place in Africa in 2010. A whole lot of fantastic competitions has come and gone without Infantino directly, overseeing the competition. So Infantino can only run for another 4-year term. That if he's even allowed, if he's not pressured to still tender in his resignation, like many people believe. So let's even assume he wins the election next year. He can only be in charge for the next 4 years. And after that, he would have completed 14 years as FIFA president, because he has been president since 2016. So when he leaves, when his tenure is over, someone else will still take charge and, do his own thing as far as FIFA is concerned. So you cannot just categorically say, I know that there's a closeness, a friendship between Donald Trump and the FIFA president Gianni Infantino. We get all of that. There's nothing wrong in being friends. But when you always see the good thing, even when there's something wrong in the approach that FIFA used in trying to ensure that they sell some of their stakes to private investors, the competitions and all of that, then you would know why some federations are not happy. In Asia, in the CONCACAF, in Europe as well, they are all not happy with how Infantino went about it, even though he has come out to subsequently apologize. But they're still not, they don't trust Infantino 100%. Some are pressuring him to tender his resignation. Some are saying that he shouldn't go in for election next year and all of that. So we'll still see how this situation develops. But for the fact that even the US Soccer Federation are part of the CONCACAF region, who are even asking for Infantino to resign after hosting, according to Trump, one of the most successful, if not the most successful World Cup ever. So what does that also tell Donald Trump, the US president? If the US Soccer Federation are saying we do not want Infantino anymore, we want him to tender his resignation, which means all is not well, which means Infantino will have to go back to Trump and say, look at what's happening. Your own country's soccer football federation is not in my corner. And if they're not in my corner, which means that it's more pressure on me. So it's not just for Trump to come out to back Infantino publicly. In-house, they must also ensure that the US Soccer Federation are on the side of Gianni Infantino. All right, still All Access Sports on Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba with radio anchor Julian Ajoa. Let's give you some transfer gist on the show before I open up the phone lines. Chelsea are exploring a potential loan move for Mykhailo Mudryk as he looks to build up his fitness after 20 months out of football. The Ukraine international has not played a competitive match since November 2024 after he was suspended for 4 years for returning an adverse finding for the banned substance meldonium. However, an agreement was reached to resolve the doping case, and the forward has returned with substitute appearances in pre-season friendlies against Juventus, AC Milan and Johor Darul Ta'zim during Chelsea's tour of Asia. In meetings at the end of the tour, Mudryk agreed to leave on loan before the transfer deadline on the 1st of September. A move to Strasbourg, who share the same blue co-ownership as Chelsea, has been proposed, but Mudryk would prefer a move to another English top-flight club. Several other clubs have also emerged as potential destinations, including a number of leading sites in Italy. Mudryk remains under contract until 2031, having joined Chelsea from Shakhtar Donetsk for an initial £61 million in 2023. So this is one player who was even destined to go to Arsenal, but Chelsea hijacked the move because they offered more money and Mudryk's head was turned. Shakhtar Donetsk obviously wanted the cash, and that's how he eventually went to Chelsea. I'm sure that Arsenal will be saying, thank God we didn't waste our money to get this guy, because obviously Mudryk hasn't been value for money. I kind of figured out that he wasn't going to be part of the Chelsea side. I mean, you cannot just be out of football since November 2024 and you just expect that you will just come back and be a part of the team, especially at this point when Chelsea need to retweak the squad, where Chelsea need to lay off some players. Chelsea have an over-bloated squad and they're racing against time to prune down that squad to just 25 players. So Mudryk is one of the players they currently have, and the best solution for all parties is the club were very honest with him to let him know that he will not feature prominently in the squad. So for him to get match fitness, he needs to leave on loan. So they are willing to send him to their sister club in Strasbourg, but Mudryk is saying, I don't want to leave England. I'm comfortable in England. I want to stay in the Premier League. So clubs will now begin to look at possible solution. I know that Coventry City with Frank Lampard are interested in getting him on loan. Several other clubs will also be interested, but as of today, it is just Coventry City. So we'll see how this story develops in the next couple of days. Still on Chelsea, they have approached Arsenal over a deal for midfielder Miles Lewis-Skelly. He comes after Arsenal signing of Bruno Guimaraes, but the report suggests there is no indication yet on whether Chelsea will make a move for the 19-year-old who has long-term interest from the Blues. Arsenal have reportedly been planning for Lewis-Skelly being in their squad, but after the arrival of Guimaraes, a big offer could tempt them into a sale. However, Arsenal do not want to sell Lewis-Skelly to a local rival and a team they may have to compete with for the top places this season. Manchester United also have a long-term interest in Lewis-Skelly, but the club are still deciding whether they will commit to signing another midfielder or a left-back before the deadline. So this is a very interesting one. Miles Lewis-Skelly is a good player. He can play as a midfielder. That's his original position. But most times he has been used as a left back. But now with the coming of Calafiori, or the coming of Piero Hincapié, these guys can play as left backs. So that has made Lewis-Skelly the third choice left back for Arsenal. For most parts of last season, the player was fit. He was not injured. He was waiting for the opportunity, which never came. But towards the end of last season, especially in May, he had a consistent run of games in that midfield position, and he was very, very decent. Again, he also sent maybe you want to say cryptic message on his social media while he was celebrating with the Premier League title, at the end of last season. And he wrote on his Instagram page, he wrote pure profit, wrote Miles Lewis-Skelly on his social media. So what is pure profit? Because he's an academy graduate, any amount of money that is being bought, any amount of money that is paid, that's the word, any amount of money that is paid for Miles Lewis-Skelly will count as pure profit because he's from the academy. You can call him an academy graduate. So that's going to add a whole lot to the Arsenal's transfer. That's also going to add a whole lot to Arsenal's book. Arsenal trying to balance their book in their accounts, so they'll record it as pure profit because he wasn't signed, and most importantly, he came through from the club's academy. So that might just be sending a message to other clubs who may be interested in getting him that he wants to leave. And then if he's sold, Arsenal can pocket the money and add it to their books as pure profit. So Miles Lewis-Skelly obviously wants to play. One of the reasons why he didn't travel with the England squad for the World Cup was because of playing time. Because at some point, he was very involved in the team while he was still a regular for the Arsenal side. So Arsenal don't want to sell, obviously, to Chelsea. They consider Chelsea a rival. Neither do they want to sell to Manchester United, who they also consider as a rival. So what does Miles Lewis-Skelly do at the end of the day? If a suitable offer comes, Arsenal are willing to sell. The only thing is that they do not want to sell to a rival club. But I can imagine if the player comes out and say, Arsenal, I want to go to Chelsea or I want to go to Manchester United, because these are the only two clubs who might just be interested in getting him, especially for Chelsea. But again, for Chelsea, as much as they are bringing in more players, they need to sell off more players. If I'm Chelsea, there's no need to bring in new players. Sell off the ones you have and have a balanced squad. It's not about signing players. It's about having the right balance in the squad. That's the thing I fear for Chelsea. That's the thing I fear for Xabi Alonso. The manager knows what he's doing, but does the club on the long run, are they quite sure of what they're trying to achieve? I hear that so many of the players want to go on loan, But if you're loaning out players, if you're selling out players, you try to balance the squad instead of bringing in more players. That's just the way I see it. So we'll monitor the situation, and it will be an interesting one for the next couple of days. Nottingham Forest have signed Ivory Coast defender Ousmane Diomande from Sporting Lisbon on a 4-year contract. Forest will pay a fixed fee of around £34.3 million for the 22-year-old centre-back after several weeks of negotiations. Head coach Oliver Glasner drove the club's interest in Diomande after trying to sign him at his former side Crystal Palace last summer. Diomande has spent the last 4 years at Sporting, playing 132 games, scoring 7 goals and winning the league title twice. The player helped Sporting reach the Champions League knockout stages and win a domestic double in the 2024-25 season, while being part of the Ivory Coast squad that won the 2023 African Cup of Nations for the first time in 8 years. Diomande has also been capped 15 times for his national team and made 1 appearance at this summer's World Cup. Meanwhile, Tottenham Hotspur manager Roberto De Zerbi maintains the club are not finished yet in the transfer market as they look to build a competitive Premier League squad again. Having only avoided relegation on the final day of last season, Spurs have spent already around £237 million, with the club's transfer record broken twice in deals for Matheus Fernandes and Sandro Tonali. Dutch defender Paul Van Hecke also arrived from Brighton and Hove Albion for £52 million, while Martin Dubravka, Andy Robertson and Marco Senesi were signed as free agent. Manchester City forward Savinho is reportedly close to completing a switch to North London in a £60 million deal, and Mickey van der Veen having also committed his long-term future to the club. There's genuine hope Spurs will soon be challenging at the under end of the table. So Spurs have finished 17th in the last 2 seasons in the Premier League. In fact, they survived relegation last season on the final day of the season. So for them to avoid all of those things happening, subsequently, what it means is that they need to invest in the squad, and that's exactly what they have done. But again, it's not about signing players. I like the fact that they have signed very good players in positions that are very important. Sandro Tonali and Matheus Fernandes are a very good set of midfielders. I think that if they play together, these two guys can be one of the most deadly duo, a deadly combination in the Premier League. I also like the signing of Robertson and Senesi. That brings experience, into the team. Jan-Paul Van Hecke is a solid central defender as well, joining from Brighton and Hove Albion. So you look at the signings they've made, they're very, very important signings. They're very decent signings. Spurs have not just gone about spending money because they have the money. They've spent money on the right players. They've spent money in the right positions. And I feel that Tottenham Hotspur would finish in the top 6 or top 7 at the end of next season. They also have a very good manager who's got Premier League experience. He's also managed a couple of decent players, and he's somebody who can ground out results. He's somebody who can grind out performance from his players. Typical Italian managers, they do all their best to squeeze out the performance from the players. Any way it happens, they're willing to get it so long as they can get the result. So for Roberto De Zerbi, after keeping the team in the Premier League for the new season, the target will be for them to try and qualify for Europe next season. Everton have signed forward Brennan Johnson from Crystal Palace in a transfer swap deal that sees Dwight McNeil move to Selhurst Park. Both players have signed 4-year deals, with Johnson departing Palace having only signed in January from Tottenham Hotspur for £35 million. But they have landed McNeil, who nearly joined them on deadline day in that same window, but the move broke down because paperwork wasn't submitted in quick time. Johnson becomes the 5th summer signing for David Moyes' Everton after Merlin Rawls' loan obligation was activated, along with the additions of Hayden Hackney, Tyreek George and Christian Norgard. McNeil joins defenders Oscar Mingueza and Takehiro Tomiyasu in signing for Palace this summer, having sold centre-back Maxence Lacroix. Palace chairman Steve Parish is also understood to have had positive direct discussions with McNeil and his partner Megan Shapley ahead of this deal being agreed. The talks were needed to clear the air after Shapley criticized those involved in McNeil's failed move to Palace in the January transfer window, claiming it had a negative impact on his mental health. Still on Crystal Palace, they're in talks to re-sign Evan Gerson on a season-long loan from Aston Villa. The 25-year-old Ivory Coast forward spent the second half of last season on loan at Selhurst Park and was part of the side that won the Conference League in May. He only joined Villa in August last year, but enjoyed an underwhelming start to the season after his £26 million transfer, scoring just 2 goals in 21 appearances in all competitions. After moving to Palace in January, Gerson scored his first Premier League goal in a 1-0 win over Wolves, and he came on in the Conference League final win over Rayo Vallecano. He also finished the season with a Europa League winners medal after appearing for Villa earlier in the season before Unai Emery's side went on to win the trophy. Gerson, who made 2 substitute appearances for the Ivory Coast at this summer's World Cup, returned to Villa for pre-season after Palace failed to take up an option to sign him earlier in the summer. Germany midfielder Florian Wirtz says that he's more ready and really excited for his second season in the Premier League after settling in during his first campaign at Liverpool. Wirtz made the move from Bayer Leverkusen in a deal worth £116 million last summer and scored 7 goals and provided 10 assists in what was an underwhelming campaign overall for Liverpool under Arne Slot. The 23-year-old also revealed that he has had conversations about his role under Andoni Iraola and that Iraola is keen for him to play behind the striker in the number 10 position. During the preseason tour of the USA, the Liverpool boss said Wirtz was quite complete as a player. So this is one man who struggled to stamp his authority in the Premier League. He was so good in the Bundesliga for Bayer Leverkusen. He was part of the team that went unbeaten in 2024. He was part of the team that also lost just 1 game. That's in the Bundesliga. That is, lost 1 game in the entire of that season. You know, he's a fantastic player alongside Xhaka in the midfield, and as well as Grimaldo and also Frimpong. They formed a very good partnership. Bayer Leverkusen were very exciting to watch, and part of the reason was because of the contribution of Florian Wirtz. So this is the second season. He believes he can do more. He has said his best position is to play behind the striker in the hole in the number 10 position and not play on the left or play on the right or play as part of the midfield 3. Play me in the number 10 position and you'll get the best out of me. That's what Florian Wirtz has said. All right, so let me take this story before I open up the phone lines. Chelsea ladies will face Spanish side Real Sociedad in the Women's Champions League third qualifying round. The Blues will be at home for the first leg on 26 August with the return fixture in Spain a week later on 2nd September. Having finished third in the Women's Super League last season, 8th-time WSL champions Chelsea will have to beat Sociedad in order to seal their spot in the Women's competitions league phase. Sociedad finished their Liga F campaign in third, 21 points behind leaders Barcelona. Chelsea, who were beaten in the Champions League final by Barcelona in 2021, were seeded for Tuesday's draw, which took place at the House of European Football in Lyon, Switzerland. In other ties, Paris Saint-Germain will take on Eintracht Frankfurt, Real Madrid will take on Ajax, 2-time winners Wolfsburg will lock horns with Inter Milan, while Juventus have been drawn against Austrian side St. Pölten. WSL champions Manchester City and runners-up Arsenal have already qualified for the league phase, along with defending champions Barcelona. 0807-907-1941 is the number for you to call on the show. 0807-907-1941. Feel free to call and join the conversation on All Access Sport today on Big Hearts 92.1 FM Asaba. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Julian Ajunwa.
Good evening. Name and location.
Radio Anchor, Apa.
Yeah, very, very fine. How you doing?
I did fine, oh, my brother.
Yes.
Nah, no, you don't call this evening now. I dey like you back. As you dey talk, you don't dey smile. That one, you dey try, yo.
Thank you very much.
Well done, oh.
Thank you.
My name is Ubang. You call me Mr. Controversial. You don't stand to be corrected.
Mr. Controversial, welcome to the show.
But I call you to ask you because all the transfer gist, I don't hear our own name now. What happened now?
Which club be that? Which club be that?
The Gunners now. The Gunners Emperor.
Arsenal. Okay, so well for us now, they're not looking at signing any player actively for now. You know, instead they're trying to see how they can sell 1 or 2 to try to balance their books. So Miles Lewis-Kelly is in the news. Chelsea are interested in signing the player, so they want to bring in Miles Lewis-Kelly.
Miles Lewis-Kelly is a good player. Now why they want to sign him? They're not supposed to sell Miles Lewis-Kelly now. Okay, please, whatever they want to do, they should do fast now. Time is running out, though.
Nabi, Arsenal season starts this Sunday against Manchester City in the FA Community Shield final.
Yes, now. So that is a big game, and that is the game that Arteta planned. Because you see what happened in the 2 matches we are lost now. So people start to talk, blah, 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 but they don't know what is in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
So our own focus is on that game on Sunday. So that is where our game will start properly.
Okay.
So we are officially start game on Sunday against Man City.
Against
so
Manchester
my brother,
City.
go on, yeah?
Thank you so much, Mr. Controversial, for calling on the show. Always supporting, always calling on the show. Thank you so much for your support as well. So Arsenal will take on Como in their final preseason game tomorrow by 7:30 p.m. before they take on Manchester City in the FA Community Shield on Sunday. And that's the curtain raiser for the new season. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Name and location.
I'm Deborah from Asaba.
You are what?
Deborah.
Okay, welcome to the show. Please turn down the volume of your radio.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay, all right. Please, when you call in, just try to tone down the volume on your radio so that it can have a very smooth conversation, all right? So that I will not be hearing myself at the background. And so when you talk, I can clearly hear what you've got to say. 0807 907 1941. 0807 907 1941 is the number for you to call on the show. You can also send your text messages and WhatsApp messages to 0813 359 3473. 0813 359 3473. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Name and location. Okay, welcome to the show. Hello, are you there? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Don't know if it's the weather, but just try to get to a place where you can pretty much hear me as well. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Name and location.
Bishop James, the God of Anfield.
God of Anfield, welcome to the show.
Yeah. I have more things to say. I want to all those people in the other store, more than the set us when they listen for years, please.
Okay. No vex. They will hear. All right, go on. Hello? Okay. Just try to call back. Don't know, network issues. I know it's been raining for most parts of the day. Just try to put it back. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Name and location. Your name is? Okay, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I just came look. I like your program well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, God will bless you again.
Amen. Thank
I
you.
wonder about Chelsea. I want Chelsea to go for Zubimendi.
Okay, for Zubimendi.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of Lewis Kelly.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good one. That will be a good one for Chelsea. I mean, Zubimendi is a very quality player. He's a good player.
Yes. Yeah. This Alonso is trying very well. They want to turn Chelsea onto that super football. That's what I want.
Yes.
Seeing on the guy.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
I really appreciate the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Reviews like this are always very good for me to hear, okay? To know that you're listening to me, so that I'm not just talking to myself, to also get a positive feedback also makes me very happy whenever I come here. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Name and location. I didn't hear you. What's your name, please? Okay, go on.
Maxwell.
Okay, Maxwell from Asaba. Okay, go on, Maxwell. Okay, Manchester United. Well, no news for now. They are considering whether to sign a midfielder or to sign a left back. So they are kind of in between because there's no money to sign both of them.
Yeah, so what I have to say now is I don't know why they are because now the people that you cannot.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, we cannot depend on the finance. And look at now, the team are not even we have have been doing this PSG, which I don't know if it's a serious one.
Okay.
So that's the more reason why we are supposed to be in the news, because we cannot rely on the amount.
Okay.
That issue for the staff, how many people in the. I don't see a reason why we are not supposed to be doing on this second game. Having the amount, at least I was about it. Now we cannot even say which coach we are going to release the job because all the clubs are making sure they are making more like all the clubs, even down to the smaller ones, they are making them, they are really getting also what they have in mind, like they are doing everything very possible to at least make the finals for them. Because that club I really I like the guy at the second, but what I don't like about it is when you have a player and that player is not available for you.
Okay.
So having that player. It's just like having this Lisandro Martinez now. They will play how many games? He does not give you a full season.
Yes.
And the month on is even that bad. We are having some players back. And we have players who are very consistent. In the team, if you want to flourish, you need players who will be very consistent, just like the Bruno is doing. If you have Bruno type of player, very consistent player, and he takes the game, and you know how we will not see himself in the top.
Okay.
So we are having the month out, and Beggy is down, Beggy is just. It's just someone who's just a lot. But they don't really give you that. So I hope they at least they make the right decision. Then coming down to Monty and this young man looking for him to badly. I hope all the things he's trying to do for him. And Chelsea, their own is just to step about that's the thing they need to do now. Therefore, Arsenal, I think they have a lot of them.
Okay.
Apart from Banta, their signings have been at least been. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much for your contribution on the show. Sincerely appreciate all of that. So for Martin Zubimendi, it's going to be a very big summer for him now. He needs to decide whether he wants to stay or he wants to go, because with the signing of Bruno Guimaraes, you bet that Bruno Guimaraes and Declan Rice will be in the same starting lineup alongside Martin Odegaard. So where does that leave Miles Lewis-Kelly? Where does that leave Martin Zubimendi? It was even Miles Lewis-Kelly that was taking the position of Zubimendi towards the end of the season. So it's a very tough task now for Zubimendi. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. This is Petty to the Gunners family.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. First of all, let me start by saying we don't, right as it is, we don't know how our Nigerian football is going now.
Yes, so.
First of all, it starts from under 17. We can't even hear it about it anymore. Now the update about now is under 20, of which I know who to talk about. Now the other one is under 23. No one. Meaning the same category I just said. There's no incoming news about it now. Now this is the Falcon now. The only thing that gives Nigeria joy.
Okay. Hello? Okay, sorry. I know you were talking about Nigerian football and all of the things that is happening in the wrong direction. Well, I don't know what else to say about the football, but I just believe that until the right things are done, we'll keep rigmaroling, we'll keep going back and forth, we'll keep achieving this year and losing next year. Yes, the Super Falcons has given us joy, we get that, but the team that's giving us joy is now on the verge of not qualifying for the World Cup. Like I said, I don't care so much about whether or not we won the WAFCON or not. I was very, very particular about qualifying for the World Cup. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Julia.
Good evening, name and location.
Okay, Zia from Howard.
Okay, Zia, welcome to the show.
I'm grateful to God for what we are doing there. It's very wonderful, excellent.
Thank you very much.
Keep it on.
Thank you.
Has Pedro Neto gone to Arsenal?
No, he hasn't. Pedro Neto is still in Chelsea for now. It's even more of going to Manchester City than, because Enzo Maresca likes the player. So he might just be the replacement for Savinho if Savinho goes to Tottenham Hotspur.
I would like he just leave Chelsea because sometimes he will run the ball himself.
Okay.
He runs faster than the ball. So that is that. Just like that is the one that played with Man City and Liverpool that came to Chelsea. From Jamaica, but it's
from Jamaica. He played.
I heard about it, but naturalized in England.
Is it Sean Wright Phillips?
No.
Okay.
He played for Liverpool, from Liverpool to...
Okay, Daniel Sturridge.
Not Sturridge, no, from Liverpool to Man City, then Man City to Chelsea. The one that refused to reduce his wages.
I really can't remember now.
Okay. The one that left recently. Raheem Sterling.
Okay, Raheem Sterling. Okay, Raheem Sterling.
Sometimes he runs like a headless chicken. So this one runs so too much. You don't understand. So I can't see if don't fix the ball. You don't know how to do or do something. So what about the other one from Chevenia?
Which player is that?
That one. Left back. That's left back. Need left back.
Okay. Okay. Chevaria.
Chevaria. Okay. Yeah.
Well, we are just waiting for him to officially have his medicals at Chelsea. But in terms of the deal is going to happen. It's going to happen. It's almost a done deal. So he would have his medical anytime soon. Maybe this week or something like that. But at least they've been able to agree a fee with Rayo Vallecano and the player who wants to join Chelsea.
Okay, I thought he has done that already. Just waiting for his announcement.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for calling on the show. Thank you.
I don't talk about Nigerian and Nigerian league until they do something, they change something in glass house. And that is Ibrahim. So that is right, I think so. It should not be afraid to enter that place in another time. It should go. You should go. You should resign and leave that place. Then it should be voted out. Or you not be there. Let's know what is happening in Nigeria. I don't know.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for calling on the show. Well, if I had my way, I would not also be talking about Nigerian football. It's just that I owe it as a duty of care to give you, my wonderful listener, what is happening in Nigerian football. But if it was left for me, if it was my decision to take, I would just focus on it. I'd rather watch cricket and watch baseball or watch golf than to talk about Nigerian football. Because it can be very, very disheartening. It can be very painful. You can even go into depression watching Nigerian football or following Nigerian football. Hello, good evening. Good evening, name my location.
Hello, Julian. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm very fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing very fine. My name is Matt and I call from Ibuza.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Like you earlier said, there's nothing to talk about Nigerian football just because you guys are sports journalists. You owe us obligation to keep us abreast on what is happening around sports and Nigeria in particular. But I want to tell you that there's nothing to talk about the Super Eagles.
Nothing at all. Sports.
Yeah, because until Apple doesn't fall far from history. What is happening to Nigeria as a country is just around us, and everybody is aware of what Nigeria is going through until there is a sincerity of purpose as a country, and also as football administrators. If there's no sincerity of purpose, we are not going to go anywhere. Nigeria is going to continue going up and down.
I agree with you.
Yeah, but as a Man United fan, I am very sure, I'm very happy to know that Marcus Rashford is being reintegrated into that squad, and I'm very upbeat that they're going to have a very fine and robustness in Manchester United. I'm very sure. I believe so much that he's going to do a very good work with the squad coming into the season.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're going to have a very good season.
I believe so too. United looks very solid, and with the additions as well, they look very solid. Tielemans, Santos, very good players in their own right, especially for Tielemans. I have no doubt that at least United will do well this season.
Exactly. But for players like Joshua Zirkzee in particular, I don't know if he's still in that squad.
He's still in the squad, and there are reports that he might leave in search of regular football. But he has impressed Carrick in the preseason so far. I think he has been very good. Okay. I watched him against Rosenborg, and he looked very lively. His goal against Rosenborg was a beauty. a beauty to behold. If you haven't seen the goal, just go look out for that goal he scored against Rosenborg.
All right, thank you so much, Julian. Nice to hear your voice again.
Thank you so much.
Also, share thoughts with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening as well. So Joshua Zexi, a fantastic player, just needs a manager who can put his arm around him and say, don't worry, I'll give you opportunity to play. He's got that quality. He's got the work rate. If you want to play high-pressing football, Joshua Zexi is your man. He may not be so clinical in terms of his finishing, but if you want somebody who will give his all for the team, who will not stop running for 90 minutes, Joshua Zexi is your man. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening. Name and location.
Sport analyst.
Thank you very much.
I call you an authentic sport analyst. Yes, he's your friend, Gunners Emperor. So I want to ask question.
Yes.
What about this our guy that was injured? Any news about him? He has returned.
Who is
Benjamin
that?
Frederick.
Benjamin Fredericks. Yes, he's gradually getting back to full fitness. Benjamin Fredericks, very important player. We missed that guy. We missed him.
I'm telling you, I miss the guy. I want to hear the news that he's back. Because next month now, after I've qualified, don't have very big game.
Exactly.
So I need that guy. Even then, Siwekewewu and Femi Ozi, all those three guys, I love them. So to enter Super Eagle.
Yes. And Frederick has been given that promotion to the main team now at Brentford. So he's been given promotion to the main team. He's been given jersey number 22. So he is going to play a very big part in helping his team in the new season. Brentford is a very good defender, 6'2". He can play as a right back. He can also play as a central defender. These are the qualities that he possesses. Let me just take one final call before I wrap things up on the show. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Julian.
Good evening. Name and location.
Yes, my name is Frank. I'm calling you from myself.
Frank, welcome to the show.
Yes. Sir, I want to start with this. If you have a virus in your phone, if you do not take care of that virus, the virus will affect your phone entirely.
Yes.
Now, the case of Nigeria here is this. We have a virus. And that thing is gradually spreading. Even spreading towards our Super Falcon.
Yes.
We need to take care of this virus.
Yes.
And the number one virus we need to take care of is the board themselves.
Okay.
We need to remove these football talk politicians.
Okay.
Who uses that particular position to satisfy their friends or whatever it is there. We need to remove those people. Bring in people that will take care of football, who knows the in and out of how to manage football. That's one. Secondly, again, we need to also have a plan, a long-term plan from our junior team to the senior team.
I agree with you.
If this set of guys who we have here in national team should go, who are the players we are going to use to replace them? Nothing at all. And this thing is not moving. These people don't care. And they want to contest for what kind of election they want to contest. Let them get out from that place. Let's put people who are serious-minded people. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Frank, for calling on the show. Always very, very frank and firm in his contributions on the show. All right, that is the much I can take on the show today. But let me just read this message. If Chelsea and Man United can bring £65 million for Miles Lewis Kelly, he can go and have a playing time, but I prefer Man United for him. Buke from Ukwo, an Arsenal fan. Okay, thank you so much, Chibuke, for your contribution. Yeah, that amount of money for a 19-year-old, 65 million, don't you think is too much? But we'll see how that goes. That's the much I can take on today's edition of All Access Sports on Big House 92.1 FM Asaba. Thank you for listening. Yes, to you for listening, and to all of you who called on the show, who sent in messages, sincere appreciations. Join me tomorrow morning for the midweek edition of Morning Sport Blitz on the station that beats for you, Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba. My name is Julian Ajoa. Have a great night. See you tomorrow morning.